That is Carrie Kwok. She's a 66-year-old artist who moved into the Lowertown Lofts Artist Co-op last February. Her neighbors said she was friendly and vivacious. She really worked hard to make her community a better place. Wednesday night, Carrie was doing that. She was painting a mural in a loading dock space, getting ready for the St. Paul Art Crawl, when she was randomly shot and killed. A crime so terrible, the chief of police in St. Paul described it as cold-blooded.
What appears to be right now a random act performed in a manner like that is something I've never seen anything like that, even in a movie. It is awful.
After the shooting, St. Paul police say they tracked a car and the suspect to Belle Plaine, and while they were trying to serve a search warrant, the police say they shot and killed the suspect Thursday morning. But as this investigation unpacks itself, we learned that suspect wasn't a stranger to law enforcement. So tonight, Danny Spiewak is looking into that suspect's past and trying to figure out what the past he had, how he had a gun in the first place.
Jana, that's really one of the biggest questions right now. We don't know how he got a gun, although we know he was banned from having one due to a prior felony and was hospitalized last year for a mental health crisis. As that information comes to light, the St. Paul police chief says it's time to take gun violence and gun access more seriously.
13 hours after the Lowertown murder, St. Paul police say they found their suspect in Belle Plaine on Thursday morning with a gun, resulting in 2 officers shooting him. Family identified that man as 29-year-old Chantrell Murdoch.
Chantrell Murdoch, he was my older brother.
Rahi Murdoch says his family is just as shocked as everyone else.
It didn't really make sense, you know? 'Cause I knew what he was doing. He was pursuing his school, he was doing his thing, working. And I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Now court documents are shedding more light on Chantrell Murdoch's background. He had multiple felony convictions dating back to 2013, including a burglary charge, which prevented him from having firearms for the remainder of his life. Also, Scott County documents show Murdoch was hospitalized last year, leading to a petition to have him civilly committed as a, quote, person who poses a risk of harm due to mental illness and drug use. According to the court documents, Murdoch was tripping on LSD and became physically and verbally assaultive to staff. But ultimately, the court released him as long as he complied with the treatment plan.
I think as this case plays out, we are going to start to see this is like many other cases.
St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry says this should start a broader conversation about how to prevent people who shouldn't have guns from getting them.
It is important that we recognize these flags and that we make sure that when people are in crisis and distress, they're dealing with hard things, that we take those things seriously.
A court spokesperson said no petitions had been filed against Murdoch under the state's new red flag law. But as a convicted felon, any gun he obtained would have been illegal anyway.
It's just heartbreaking. This is a situation where it could have been prevented. He was known to have difficulties. He was known to be in a period of crisis.
Megan Walsh leads the Gun Violence Prevention Clinic at the University of Minnesota Law School.
Firearms are just too easy to access. They're too easy to purchase.
Without knowing exactly how this suspect got a gun, it's clear that people close to him had concerns. It was Murdoch's own mom, according to documents, who first brought him to the hospital last year prior to a court releasing him.
When a court is trying to make a decision about whether or not someone should be civilly committed, they should be asking what weapons are accessible to you, identifying where they are, and creating a very specific plan.
Even Murdoch's own brother says he doesn't understand how this happened.
I'm still kind of processing everything myself. I don't really know what to say.
We also don't know right now whether the gun used in the Lowertown shooting was the same one recovered by St. Paul police and investigators after they shot the suspect in Belle Plaine on Thursday. That's all part of this investigation, which the BCA is now leading. Jana.
Danny, in any of the documents that you saw about the suspect, did he have a history with gun violence? You mentioned burglary.
Yes, the burglary was the most serious, and that was the one that even when he came off of probation in 2021, a court reinforced that rule that he, as a convicted felon, is not allowed to have a firearm. That would have to be an extraordinary exception for that to be reversed. Yeah, he is legally barred from having one.
Okay. Thank you so much, Danny. We appreciate it.